the first of the many potential future Petrobitcoin dumps. Well, maybe. Is it possible that this is in fact what we're seeing and why the price of Bitcoin has tumbled so nicely from June 10th and June 11th in 2024 from where it was just hours before? Well, actually, no. If you look at the VEPS information, if you look at the VRE, if you look at our live stream that we did yesterday on the Alpha Trading Discord and on Rumble, you'll see that we did in fact say 67 looking like a very juicy area for a hit. Sure enough, we're right down there, 67.5 or whatever, right? Fell right into there, stabbed very nicely through some STDev bands to the downside on RMLRs. So on the 3-hour, it's still in mean reversion, as it has been for about 5 days, to the 3012, and now it's also in mean reversion to the 1110 RMLR on the 3-hour. And on the 4-hour, it remains in mean reversion as well to the 3012, I believe. And also now the daily is having a very near intersect of the 30 power mean smoothing length 10, and I believe the 1110 or the 3012, I don't remember, but one of the RMLRs it intersected with, or came extremely close to intersecting with today. It may still in fact intersect with it because the RMLR will likely shift down, especially if there's any more downside today. But if there isn't any more downside today, which would not be surprising actually, it could just go sideways and up, or maybe sideways and a little tiny bit down. But yeah, that wouldn't be surprising to see that RMLR paint down a bit by the time the asset closes for the day, or maybe it'll even go up a little bit. In any case, those two lines did come very close to an intersect, and typically when there is an intersect within 0 to 4 candles, we have a very nice move relative to the time frame, and we certainly did have a very nice move today relative to the time frame on the daily. So that is not a surprise at all. The VEPS was telling us this asset's going down, and sure did. Right? The entropy was telling us this asset's going to go down. It sure did. Variance, same thing. Volatility, same thing. Right? The VRE was showing us those were clearly targets. The normal distribution bands, the Laplace distribution bands, were also showing us this area is full of targets on different time frames. And that's exactly what happened. So no, I don't think this is a reaction to the petrodollar deal falling through the cracks of history and being now part of the dustbin of the past. Right? This is just the VEPS playing out. Right? When you see a story like the petrodollar deal falling through, being ascribed to the dustbin of history, as it were, or any other even massively significant story, don't be misled by that headline. Yes, yesterday or 2 days ago it officially, that deal expired, but it was 2 days ago. Okay? And that news was already, that announcement was already expected for about 5-6 days beforehand, because the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, through its spokesman or foreign ministry or whatever, had announced that when the day came, it would be not renewed. So people who are in that market very actively looking at oil, etc., knew that that would not be renewed. So that was not a reaction. And if it were a reaction, it certainly is the opposite reaction that most narratives would have told you. And if you in fact look at most of the stories being pushed out today in the news vine, you'll see that most of the stories about Bitcoin and Petro are saying that the petrodollar falling through is going to be a great pump for Bitcoin. Well, it certainly wasn't. Now, do I think that long term it'll be good for Bitcoin? Well, sort of. But then again, right, and I'm an ardent proponent of Bitcoin, but I'm also an ardent proponent of relative global stability. And when you have, right, the world reserve currency being basically tossed on its head, because the single most important asset that is used to purchase, which is energy, is now no longer pegged to that world reserve currency through the deal that was signed between the US and Saudi Arabia. It certainly creates political volatility, which has, as of yet, unforeseen repercussions and consequences. And I think that we are going to see some things happen that people are not expecting and may not be good. However, in the long arc of history, maybe this is a good thing, because maybe it will incentivize more companies to actually develop clean technology for energy, and that will possibly be good, not just for Bitcoin, but for humanity and the world as a whole. So yeah, happy trading.